Good morning, friends. Hello, friends. How are you this morning? Hope you are well and good and whole. We are here in the sanctuary this morning, so if it sounds a bit that way, then you're getting it. It's not on your end. So you are doing well. Good morning, good morning. Well, Hard Rock Cafe this morning. It is cold in the city today. It was 21 when I came in this morning, which, for some of you in more in more rural or more northern areas might not be so bad, but around these parts, that's actually chilly. And the city has kind of got that skating rink thing going to it. So, we are in full winter. So, good morning. Hey, Sharon, glad you're here. Kristen, good morning to you. I hope you're doing all right. Been thinking of you lately. Hope that all the work of the what's next of our lives is going all right for you. I hope things are finding their way. So, good morning. Give it 1 or 2 more minutes. We'll give it 1 more minute here as for a few more folks coming along. Good. It's a joy to be in the sanctuary. If the windows look a little brighter, it's because they are. We just had the coverings replaced and changed and had the windows cleaned. And so even though this time of day we're at the sun is still, particularly this time of year, is still solidly in the south, it's still really quite beautiful. And then it's a joy to see the investment made in beauty, like there's something wonderful about that to me. So, all right, friends, let's get going this morning. It is the 17th day of January on this Wednesday. Hey, good morning, Linda. And welcome to 11:11. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're a part of this journey. And this morning, on this chilly morning, I want to I've been thinking a lot lately about just the saints. They do look great, don't they? That I've been thinking a lot about the idea of the saints, what they mean, and actually ended up, as a result, kind of not thinking about a saint at all, but simply the idea of those who came before us, and the great legacy on which we stand. It's one of the reasons I wanted to bring us to the sanctuary this morning, to just remind us of this platform of ministry that we have here, and the beauty of it and the gloriousness of it. And that if you don't have the chance to spend a little time and bask in this one or your own, you're missing out. You're really missing out, because there's something about the encounter with the beautiful that brings us into greater beauty. There's real actual science around this, that this is not just a thing that Andy's making up because he thinks it's cool. There's actual science around this, that these shapes actually have vibrations to them, and that they actually do tend us, and that they heal us. But in the contemplation of this, one of the mothers of old, Mother Julian. So Julian of Norwich was a mystic in the 14th century, 1342, I think she was born, and she in her early life became very sick and was believed to she was going to die, and but at the moment of her sickness, she was miraculously healed. But through that healing and through that process, she had a series of visions and a series of encounters with the Lord. And in those encounters, she gave what I think is probably one of the best, if not the best, writings of medieval spirituality that we have, which is it's called Showings, or the proper title for it is The Revelation of Divine Love. And she's known for a fairly famous quote, but I will talk about that at the end. But I think but she has this. But the wisdom in which she encaptures and the way in which she offers this, she writes her account and then she rewrites it much later in life, which I think is, sometimes when you reflect on things, they're actually more true later. That I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but that when we encounter things that we're going through, we think we know what's happening, but then later on we actually discover what is happening. Well, she goes through this whole process, and she was what is known as an anchoress, which is there were a number of different ways that anchoresses worked out, but they basically were about withdrawing from the world, and she spent part of her life in kind of walled up, essentially, where she would come where she would live in this little cell, in this little tower, and people would come there for advice and for wisdom and for she had a little window in which she would kind of be able to meet and talk with people, and even in her lifetime she was known to be one of the most wise and one of the most sage peoples of her life. Of that era. Her genius is really even recognized in her time. She was never beatified as a saint, which is always kind of a funny thing, because there was never that even though she experienced healings and there were things that happened around her, there was the church of the day didn't lift her up that way. But Mother Julian has this quote that I think bears us thinking about these days, because it's part of what it is to bring us to this place and to be able to experience the beauty of these windows and this place behind me, the ability to gather in this little digital sphere, in this little digital space. Hi, Jane. Hi, Sage. Hey, glad you're here. And this is what she writes. She says, "It's easier to get to know God than our own soul." And she says the reason for this is that God is nearer to us than our own soul. Because God is not only our own soul, but God is also the ground on which we stand. It is our necessity or our desire to seek God that actually, that if we want to know ourselves, if we want to know what's going on with us, if we want to understand our own proclivities and the way in which we are made, we're actually better off seeking God. And that God, through that process, will reveal those things to us. God will show us those things. God will give us grace and meaning and purpose and illumination where and when we need it. But if we go on these grand visions of self-discovery about who am I and what am I doing, which is such a modern problem. Julian of Norwich never wanted that, because we don't even know her. We don't even know necessarily even her proper name, because she is called Julian because of probably because of the Church of Saint Julian in which she was associated with, and she was in Norwich because that's where she was. She was in England. That her identity was so entwined in her place and her mission and what she was doing that even her being was in a way was lost into that. Her name was even lost into that. And you can say, well, that's a shame, or that's a thing that happens to women, or however you want to understand that. But you can also say there's not a lot of doubt in terms of who she is in that place. And so this is a very modern problem that we have in terms of, who are we and what are we doing and where are we going and how are we encountering ourselves in this? And her invitation is just that simple, that it's easier to get to know God than it is our own soul. It's easier to encounter things of beauty and truth and goodness than it is to try and figure ourselves out. And now some people aren't cursed with this. They don't have a deep desire. Some people are. It doesn't really matter. It's that there's still this way in which we're all trying to, kind of maybe make tomorrow a little better than today, or at least have a little more joy in tomorrow than today, to kind of squeeze the hours and the fruits and the beauties of this day to gain a little more sweetness. Friends, I want to bring you to this place to remind you, friend, kind of where we started was all those who came before us. The people that put their hand to this place. If you look over my head when we were talking to the stained glass folks, if you look at the very top of the windows, there are these gold, there are these little specks of gold, and the closer you get to them, and I'm sure the camera doesn't even do them justice here, but those little specks of gold, the stained glass guy was saying, like, yeah, take care of those because they can't make them anymore. That they don't know, the people today who do stained glass, the people today don't know how Tiffany Studios actually got that color. They don't know how they turned glass that color. They've actually lost that technology of how they made. Now they can make stuff that's close, they can make stuff but that actual sense of that golden hue that is back there that's just peeking out, they don't even know how to do it anymore. Friends, we stand on the shoulders and we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses that have brought so much goodness to us and so much wonder to us and so much amazement to us in the living of their days that we can't even really understand what that is. And the beauty of the sanctuary speaks it to me every time. Not just the people who wrote the checks to make it happen, but the hands of the artisans, the wisdom of the craftsmen, the cymatic symbols that are there that speak to us and resonate with us, even in the silence of the place. And it reminds me the wisdom of Sister Julian, the wisdom of Mother Julian, which her most famous quote is this: "All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, I know." Friends, wherever you find yourself, whatever's happening in your life right now, all shall be well, because you are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses that is seeking to love you into the highest and most perfect good you can take. That no matter what doubts you have, no matter what you don't get about yourself, about why the heck am I still doing that? I'm this many years old and I'm still doing this. No matter what sin you think you've collected to yourself, or whatever you think you don't understand, or whatever confusion seems to have a hold of you, there are legions of the good and the true and the beautiful that came before us, not just in a spiritual sense, not just in the sense, and although that is true, but in the material sense, that the people who crafted the beauty around you, the people that crafted your car, the people who are around, bringing goodness into this world in all of its different forms, all of it is this great testament to the words of Sister Julian some 700 plus years ago: all shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, I know. I want to invite you to spend a little time not worrying about you or what's going on with you, but maybe spend a little time today with God, and spend a little time today getting to know God a little deeper. And that in that, God will reveal the beauty of your own soul. God will reveal the joy of your own being. God will place in you, God will take from you the heart of stone, which this world is working so hard to make in us all, and place a heart of flesh, that we might know and feel and encounter the true and the good and the beautiful in every moment of our lives. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, I know. All right, peace and grace, my friends. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being with us, Robin, John. Glad you made it. Oh, Somerset Congo, glad you're on board. It is well with my soul. Yeah, I think Sister Julian has a little piece of that. All right, friends, peace and grace to you all. You are all in my prayers today. I will say prayers for each one of you. And may God's blessing be upon you to know that all is well. All manner of things shall be well. Peace and grace, my friends. We'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.